Peace, 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 peace to all the Moors and the true light seekers. I want to start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents Moors, health and wealth. But I'll give it a couple minutes for everybody can log on. I'll give it a grace period. I like to do that. Like I said, today is going to be an illuminating message. I said I'm always going to try to come back, and everything I do on college campuses and on other platforms, I'm going to come back and give to the people for small donations. Cash App $ KG Bay. The people that donated earlier, they got their literature. I'm a man of my word. So give me a minute. Excuse me for burping on here. But get your pencils and papers. If you like the teachings, Cash App $ KG Bay. I'm going to be offering some different pieces of literature for this lecture. Every lecture, I'm going to offer pieces of literature for charitable contributions. And you're going to see, today I'm going to be offering books that's on Amazon for expensive dollars. Like today, this lecture, I'm going to be offering The Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan Van Sertima. Look on Amazon how much that is. And then look on Amazon, it's a book called The Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson. Got our prophet right on the cover. See how much it is on Amazon for that. I got the whole books. And like I said, if Moors really want those books, say, man, yeah, I really want those books. You can go to Office Max and Staples, have them download them and bind them in book form. Save you hundreds of dollars than buying some paper books from another platform for hundreds of dollars. Moors be able to get that today for a discounted price. So, it's open, cuz. Give me a minute.
Hey.
Got some work out?
Yeah. Work out. Work out. Nope. Want a cookie? What you been doing? You talking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad.
You good?
Sorry.
Y'all good? Y'all good? What you mean, son?
Peace.
Yeah, well, it's live. It's real life.
We live, baby.
So we got 2 more minutes. Get your pencils and papers. Like I said, Moors, we have our book page. It's mypdfbooks.com, where you can get all your Moorish American literature and much, much more. But like I said, today, I will be offering literature today for a $40 discount. If you give anybody give a $40 donation, I'm going to give you 2 pieces of literature that's worth way more. 1 piece of literature costs probably $200-$300, guaranteed. So get your pencils and papers. Give me a minute. I'm going to go over a couple books. It's not going to be long, and we'll be done. So tell your friends, like and share. Give me a minute, man. Peace and love to everybody. Yeah, you making pants?
Mm-hmm.
You about to make something too?
Oh, you know what? I'm putting Empress right there. Got another idea.
You know what y'all could be making your own jean jacket with the patches and everything. Pants and on the jacket.
That's what Sean already do.
That's what you're talking about. That's all right. You your brand, baby. I love it. I'm not going to be using your brand.
But we do need to order some more patches, though. I'm gonna order some. Like how you order them in the package, like. Ooh.
Here you go.
We can do the pants to match though, cause you don't got the pants.
So first off, let me do our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my guide, my protector, my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Alakim, Ayah Asha'ayah, peace, 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 Assalamu alaikum, Hotep. It's all peace. It's all good with me.
Peace and love, peace and light.
But the thing I tell people, man, is that I'm a Moor. Oh, hold on. I got a couple more people logging in. I'm sorry.
Got a couple more people logging in. Excuse me.
Oh, go ahead.
Next to you.
Yeah, you good. Hold on, y'all. But first is off, man, that I'm a Moor. I do things the Moorish American way. I'm not down with no fads. I'm not down with no diet plans, no keto diet, no, I don't know. whatever other type of diet it is. You know what I mean? Emergency Power Act and Title 50, please read. Hey man, come on, man. It's all good. But like I'm saying, I'm not into all that. It's things in our divine science and all science, when people gather, compile, and divinely prepare, that means it comes from a particular place. I'm good. So when I talk about the way I live and eat to live and healing herbs, like it's a lot of things that's already been here. We don't have to change nothing. If you understand language, kosher, it's a certain way to eat. It's a certain way to eat to live. When we talk about natural cures, it's all here. Nothing we have to say, well, this person says this works and this person says this works, or eliminate this without understanding your chemical makeup. I never indulge with that. We deal with the sources of information, not bits and pieces. Like, for instance, say if you were on Jeopardy, right? And you get a lot of people that won't let the announcer or let the person that's speaking finish the sentence they saying, and he'll say, what keep your engine going? What keep your car going? And you will blow out engine. And he'll say, I didn't even get to finish the question. He'll say, what keeps your car going? No matter if it have a engine, transmission, and all that. What will stop it? What gives it the power? You blurred it too fast. It's the battery. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people gravitate to people's theories and things. And like I say, I'm not into theories. I'm not into saying this works and that works and taking this from a person. I'm telling you, I'm a more. I'm giving divine science and I'm giving history, and I can rest my case. I don't take away nothing from my body. I eat clean. It's a thing called eating green. So I just wanted to make that statement off the top. So it's a lot of other books, like when we talk about They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima, and other different books, when a lot of people be asking questions about King Juba, and I say, well, it is books, and it's a lot of these books is written by different nationalities. It's the lost treasures of King Juba. And what that book clearly explains, it talk about the evidence of Africans in America before Columbus. I don't want to divulge all into it so much, but it's so much history that you can cross-reference if you're willing to study and read, and not to get caught up in feelings and saying this or trying to act like this is that and not basing things on understanding. So then when we talk about the black codes, like all this stuff was written in history. When I tell Moors, man, if you operating right, you have to understand and understand all law. That's why I said you will see a lot of Moors always playing in things. I'm not playing. And that's why I tell Moors, the same way they came, they can leave. It's no reason for a grown person to be on someone's page playing. Because I'll never come on nobody else's page playing. If I'm not with something, I won't even waste my time. So when we talk about things, and like I said, I'm also talk about earlier. I was talking about the Jim Crow era, and I'm gonna talk about a little bit of the Jim Crow Museum that's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. When I show you things, for you can see things visually, for the kids can see these things, and they can get an understanding. You know, that's what I want everybody to really, really understand and get into really, really studying and be like, okay, this is what this science is about. Not a whole bunch of caricature, memes, and belie systems and dogmatic principles. That's not more science. So I'll give a little bit of the intro of this, and then we're going to keep it moving. We're going to deal with a little bit of the definitions. But I'll give a little bit of the intro, just so we can get an understanding. Person of color. Remember, I told y'all about the book, The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. that they may have on Amazon is probably out of print. I have that. I'm gonna make it available for PDF in a minute. But they make all these books expensive. That's why we created our own PDF book page, mypdfbooks.com, so we can offer this information for a fraction of the price, regardless how anybody feel. Don't give a damn. But 1866, an act to define the term persons of color and to declare the rights of such persons, that all Negroes, mulattoes, mutineers, and their descendants have 1/8 Negro or African blood in their veins shall be known in the state as what? Persons of color. That was the hidden cause or the forgotten cause of the Civil War, period. And I'm gonna rest my case. Everybody know this. After the English colonies were settled in North America, beginning in the early 17th century, Western European notions of race and ethnicity quickly appeared in the relationships between Native Americans, aka Indians, and the Euro-American colonists. Racial categorizing generally followed a model of the three distinct groups: Caucasoid or white, and when you research a European name, what was his name? His name is Bloomback. Come up with that European this stuff because the size of a skull is all pseudo. Or white, Negroid, or black, and Oriental, yellow, or some version thereof of these three groups. Negroid, because the blacker skin, which was equated with darkness, ignorance, and evil, was on the lowest run, with Caucasoid, equated with light, purity, and good, was on top. The Native American red men were considered just below the Orientals and just above the Negroes. Hence, they were deemed primitive and inferior, but unlike blacks, sometimes noble. Shortly after the first Africans landed from Africa, per se, because all Africans or all American, this color is not from Africa, we know this, into the American colonies around 1620. And then I can show you in Jamestown, when they say slaves came to the Americas in 1618, well, if so-called slaves from Africa came to Americas in 1618, what about those ones that was already here? The Massachusetts and Virginia colonies took the lead in defending perpetual servitude for Africans and those of African descent based upon the status of their mother. Children born of free mothers, mostly Caucasian, were deemed free. Children born of slave mothers, mostly black, were slaves, consigned to perpetual bondage. The early slave codes denied bond persons all of their rights, normally associated with the human freedom. I mean, I'm gonna go on and on with that, but I just want to get into some things. Definitions from the Revised Code of Georgia, 1863. Who are citizens? All free white persons born in the state or any other person of this union who are or may become residents of this state with the intention of remaining therein. All free white persons naturalized under the laws of the Confederate States. Who is white? Persons having 1/8 or more of Negro or African blood in their veins are not white persons in the meaning of this code. Status of a mother fixed, that of the children. The status of every person in this state upon the question of freedom is determined by the status of his or her mother. That was the forgotten cause of the Civil War. Somebody better ask somebody. How the preacher just said, you better ask somebody. Free Negroes. Negroes want slaves who have their own owners' consent, left this state to reside in a state or country where slavery is not tolerated, to become free, and free Negroes who have changed their residence to any state and within the provisions of their chapter and cannot return hither. Who are persons of color? All Negroes, mulattoes, mestizos, and their descendants having 1/8 Negro or African blood in their veins shall be known in this state as persons of color. I hope y'all listening. Child legitimate. When every colored child born before the 9th of March, 1866, is hereby declared to be the legitimate child of his mother. But such child is the legitimate child of his colored father only when born within what was regarded as a state of wedlock, or when the parents were living together as husband and wife. I hope y'all listening. definition of slaves. A slave is one over whose person, liberty, labor, and property another has legal control. And you listen to these goofy sheiks talking about, oh, we don't deal with that no more. Oh, so you don't deal with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? You got to be a clown. You just going over UCCs and not telling people the whole truth. We're going to jump in that. Oh, we're going to jump in that. Because a lot of Moors are confused on navigating. And I'm saying it just like that because I done did the lectures, broke the laws down very, very, very simple, very, very, very plain. Anybody talking that expatriation, goofball stuff, claiming they UCC and they UCC1, fraud, fraud, fraud. It's very, very simple. And every true, honest Moor, righteous Moor that know all law be like he's telling you nothing but all truth. And the truth won't set you free. It will make you free. And that's a fact. Presumption of slavery. All Negroes and mulattoes are deemed and hereby declared to be prima facie slaves, and it rests upon those alleging freedom to prove it. Mulatto, mulatto, mulatto. A mulatto is one in whose veins there is at least 1/8 of Negro blood. Chattel, chattel, how the presidents wrote in their chattel. I hope y'all listening to me. All slaves are chattel persons and to be governed by the same laws, except in cases expressly provided by statute, or where the nature of property requires a modification of the ordinary rule. So when these Negroes be talking about some consular course, and I say, what do it say in a treaty of Morocco and the United States? If an American citizen kill a Moor, or vice versa, if a Moor kill an American citizen, that Moor wanted to be judged on the same parameters as the American citizen, yes or no? See, that's why I be saying y'all got to stop dealing with these goofies. Just reading the line, getting you caught up and said, they ain't giving it all to you. You can't arbitrarily explain the law as you go because you feel like it and want to argue based on a lie. Who want to defend a lie? That is some crazy, mentally retarded stuff. Natural rights. The laws of nature guarantee to every man the right to his life and his limbs, unless forfeited for crime. The state of slavery debars no one of this right. Dominion of the third persons. While the slave in the dominion of his master, third persons have no right of dominion over him farther than the laws that give such right for police purposes. Acquisition of slaves. A slave cannot acquire or hold property. All his acquisitions belong to his master. That's why when Moors be talking about, oh, I own my house. No, you don't. Not no neighborhood. No, you don't. Not when you got a mortgage. Not when you in public and you ain't in private because you don't want to listen. You want to listen to somebody that don't have a slug and talk about, oh, I got a trust. That's like owning 100% of nothing. That's like talking about you a trustee. A trustee over what? You ain't got nothing. Gifts to him accompanied by delivery, accrue to the benefit of the master. Without delivery, they cannot be enforced by law. Property of slaves. All property held by a slave with the consent of the master is subject to the will of the master at any time. Now watch simple and tell me, am I lying or am I telling the truth? When you see all these entertainers, no disrespect, it's nothing but distractions. So when politics come around and you see all these rappers, no disrespect, y'all tell me which rappers. I see too, you see too. You gotta see. If you astute to things, if you understand law and policy, I ain't say a Democrat, Republican, or independent, but then you see these rappers, they promoting an old man, no disrespect. I don't care if you Republican or Democrat. You see certain rappers supporting the old European, and then the rapper have on a shirt that says "Kill your masters." Well, let me tell you, the only people that have masters is who? ISIS and who? Empress. Oh, who got masters? Okay, so why would I wear a shirt talking about kill my masters and I know I ain't no damn slave? And then when somebody question you on that, oh, that ain't what I mean. See, Negroes always act like they don't what I mean because they be playing. And they be playing, and that's what I be saying. They were stop fucking playing all the time. That's why we messed up, because we be playing, and we won't anoint our own people. We want somebody that don't look like us to give us something. That's a damn slave, and the only people that got paid for slaves is the fucking slave master. Excuse my candor. Research history, and anybody correct me if I'm lying. And then we'll let people say, oh, he didn't mean that. Yes, you do. You coming with that goofy stuff, with that reparations trash. And can't nobody get no reparations until you restore yourself back to your original state before you were tampered with. And that's a fact. That's just like a Negro putting rims on a raggedy ass car. It still ain't worth shit. Understand what I'm saying? And then we let these people play with us. Well, what we gonna call ourselves? You know exactly what the hell we should call ourselves pertaining to law, pertaining to international law. Let's deal with the laws. Let's deal with Resolution 75. Well, let's deal with the indigenous rights and the religious rights of the indigenous people. Let's deal with SF 181. Let's deal with Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. We going around playing around like we some damn African booty scrap, like we some slaves. Some people can be some slaves if they want to, but man, come on, man. We have a great history. You got the right to annex your Bay and L. See, these black and these righteous black people and all that, they playing with you. They pussyfooting with you. All these brothers that say they got an education in African-American history, you a lie. And in civics and in international law, you a lie. If you got a degree in international law, history, and all this, and I got the same degree, and all this stuff is in the libraries, why they ain't saying the same thing I'm saying? Evidently, come on, this shit is propaganda. This shit is Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. Come on, and nobody can deny what I'm saying. No one, not one person. Well, what should we call ourselves? What is our well, you have a nationality, you have a race, and you have a status. That's a fact. See, these is facts. Article 2, children follow the mother. The children of all female slave shall follow the condition of the mother and shall belong to the person holding title to the mother at that time of their birth, who are free persons of color. Free persons of color are either emancipated slaves or their descendants or such persons as shall have at least 1/8 Negro blood in their veins. That's damn near everybody. Hey, y'all don't want me to get with the ancient and modern Britons. Y'all don't want me to get in the Slavic and all in the Scottish, our guys, David Mackey Ritchie. Everybody agree with me what I'm saying. All first century writers agree with what I'm saying. It's nothing nobody can deny. Rights of free persons of color. The free persons of color is entitled to no right of citizenship, except such as specially given by laws, given by. His status differs from that of the slave in this, no master having dominion over him. He is entitled to the free use of his liberty, labor, and property, except so far as he is restrained by law. Restrained by law. Are you under arrest or am I restrained? See, man, I make these clowns sit on their damn hands because I operate right. This is a fact. These keys. This, like one of my older nobles said, man, all your stuff should have went viral. No, it shouldn't. The truth shouldn't go viral. The clown shit should. That's why everybody in trouble in jail. The righteous gonna always be here. It's only a few. Ain't that what the army say, Icy? Many are called, but only a few are chosen. What do you say, Empress? Real talk. People playing with this stuff. That's like, okay, you can play with it. Oh, it worked kind of. Man, don't you know all this stuff is warning signs, SOS? Play with it if you want to. If you ain't manufacturing what you're doing, it's repercussions for that dumb shit you doing, clown. That feds become a dunce hat on your head. Including in slave laws, all laws enacted in reference to slaves and in their nature applicable to free persons of color shall be constructed to include them unless specially accepted. Insurrection shall consist in any combined resistance to the lawful authority of the master or the state with intent to the permanent denial thereof when the same is manifested or intended to be manifested by acts of violence. The mere resistance of a slave or his attempt to escape or actual escape from the master shall not constitute insurrection. Man, come on, man. Let me give y'all a little bit of more of this, man, because we're having a great time. Marriage and Family Codes, 1749, no intermarriage between white people and Negroes. 1852, any white man and woman of color or any shade of complexion, whatever, free or slave, who shall live together in a state of adultery or fornication, or for adultery and fornication, as the case may be, and be indicted for the same, and on conviction shall be fined or imprisoned in the common jail of the county, or both, at the discretion of the court. So back then, they're going to do both. Maybe kill you. 1853, that the children not exceeding 5 years of age of any woman slave, and such a woman slave shall not be separately sold or exposed to sale by any executor, administrator, guardian, or other trustee. Trustee. Y'all need to, so do y'all know what a trustee can be? A fucking child. In order to be a trustee, you got to have something. I can appoint anybody that's a trustee over my estate, right? And it's my estate. Islam?
Islam.
Okay. Nor shall they be separated in any division made by any executor, administrator, guardian, or other trustee, but shall be placed together in one of the parts into which the estate to which they belong is to be divided, unless such division cannot in any wise be effected without such separation. Man, come on, man. 1861. Any white woman within the limits of the state who shall live or cohabit, with any Negro slave or free person of color shall be guilty of adultery or fornication. On conviction, shall be fined or imprisoned in the common jail. You hear that, y'all? In the country of both the discretion of the court, and said slave or free person of color so found living or cohabiting with the white woman in that state shall be imprisoned for 1 week, or he ain't gonna make it out, in the county jail, and receive during said week 39 lashes.
Wow.
39 lashes on his bare back on 3 separate days during the week. On 3 separate days during the week. Yeah. So they finna lock your black bleeply bleak up and whip you. Take your shirt off, Kunta. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Oh.
1865, among persons of color, the parent shall be required to maintain his or her children, whether legitimate or illegitimate. And I'll just read over a little of some of the black Christian codes, or some of the black codes in Georgia. We ain't even done. And just like I was lecturing the other day, I hope Moors, everybody on here come to adapt study and get their mind right. Because a person, women, men, they'll be showing pictures of this. Where you can go?
What's that code?
Oh, and not explaining it all to you, trying to act like you finna get some free stuff. And I'll be like, man, they not giving it all to you. I just broke this down, that law governs all events, and I'm breaking this down with the Moorish Quran. None of this stuff is so heavy. None of it. I've been breaking out all my members on here that's coming to adapt study every Saturday. I'm breaking this down with the Quran, making you stand right up. Anybody else come with this, talking about this, you need to tell them to sit on their hands. Because we just broke down, one of my lectures on here, Moors are confused on navigating, talk about some UCC and some UCC1, talk about some expatriating. You off the dribble is retarded right there. So listen to the 10 maxims of commercial law. Didn't we just do this, y'all, in adapt class? Don't that sound so familiar? I just broke this down pertaining to our Moorish Quran. So how can any more break this stuff down and be operating wrong? That'll tell you that they ain't even cracked the Moorish Quran to check themselves, because the Moorish Quran is going to check any false pretense of you coming with this. The Moorish Quran is going to check you. I'm doing it in adapt study. I'm breaking down law governs all events. I'm telling you, you got to tell your friends. Picture pages, tiny, your picture pages, tiny, get your pages and your pencils. Come on, man, it's scholarship. This would be fun. Reading is fundamental. I make this fun. This is scholarship. You can come back to the Negrocentric and the Eurocentric propaganda. Truth has no size. So the 10 maxim of commercial law. Don't this sound familiar? A workman is worthy of his hire. If I'm doing work and I'm feeding you, I ain't charging. I'm saying, hey, man, give a donation to Cash App, $ KG Bay. You give a $20 donation, I'm going to give you 2 pieces of literature. Every time you donate, you're going to get literature. Value. Number 2, all are equal under the law. Sounds familiar? 3, in commerce, truth is sovereign. Sounds familiar? 4, truth is expressed in the form of an what? Affidavit. 5, an unrebutted affidavit stands as truth in commerce. Remember I break this down? I broke this down in class. 6, an unrebutted affidavit, what? Becomes judgment in commerce. Commerce is dealing business, what? Any type of business. Borrowing, anything. You say you're going to do this, understand, affidavit, receipt, accounts receivable, aka, I hope I'm talking your language. A matter must be expressed to be what? Resolved. He who leaves the field of battle first, what? Loses by default. Understand what I'm saying? 9, sacrifice is the measure of what? Credibility. 10, a lien or claim can be satisfied only through what? A rebuttal by what? Counter affidavit, point by point. B, resolution by a jury, or what? I'm just going to pay it on out and settle it. Can't tell me I'm lying. I ain't even going to go through all this, man, because I'll correct a person right in their tracks. And they'll be like, I don't want to talk to him. But yeah, because everything I'm going to show you is that you lying and no truth is in you. So, before we get into this, we're going to get with a little bit. I said I'm going to go over the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. And I hope this sounds familiar. See, this is the basics. When these brothers be calling themselves sheiks and all this, I say you can't be a sheik if you're doing all this garbage. You shouldn't care about what nobody doing. I don't give a damn if somebody's some COINTELPRO or all that. I don't give a damn if don't nobody believe what I believe. My people know my voice. I'm going to continue to stand with truth and all that babble. We're going to combat that. We're going to let them fall with the Titanic. It's okay. We're not saying they're not Moors, but if they're not willing to learn and understand supreme wisdom, we'll let them fall with the Titanic. I don't have no problem with that. It's all good with me. This is a gift. People be physically alive, but spiritually dead. And that's a choice. So let's deal with the divine constitution and bylaws. And then we're going to jump into what I'm going to take people when I go back to Michigan. I'm going to take a couple people to the Jim Crow Museum and show you what's really in there. And I'm going to show you some of these books that's right in there. Blow your mind. The Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws. With the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Number 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on Friday the first man was formed in the flesh, and on Friday the first man departed out of the flesh and ascended unto his father God Allah. For the cause, Friday is the holy day for the Moorish Muslims all over the world. Let me get some libations. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because what, y'all? Allah is love. Act 4. Listen to this. All members must preserve the holy and divine laws. So you must know the holy and divine laws. It will check you. And all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. But see, you will let somebody tell you that you can make up your own type of law. That's living unlawfully. Act 5. The organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Did y'all hear that? Act 5? Let the Moors know that. Let me read this again. Act 5. This organization, because the Moorish Science Temple of America is an organization, I hope y'all clearly checking yourself, because nobody can nationalize you or denationalize you. The organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. That's plain and simple, ain't it? Okay. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negro, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained our prophet Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways in that time period. Today, me, as the prophet in the flesh, is a guide and a map. My brothers and sisters, we're doing the same thing. As a teacher, as a guide, as a scholar, there's nothing wrong with that. Because pertaining to our 101s, I hope you know what a prophet and an angel consist of. I hope you clearly understand that. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7, listen clearly. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America, of all lifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when Moors say it's not a temple in my city, that's okay. I'm a sheik through the temple. I have a school for Moors, so you don't have to deal with that rhetoric. So you don't have to deal with that dogma and with no old fool talking about go get some silver notes, telling you to do some goofy stuff instead of teaching you the science to build you up and show you how to use your workman tools in real life. Show you how to activate your ajana in real life. Show you how to be yourself, to resurrect not only yourself, your family, and everybody around you, and be noble. That's what this is about. Right? Mm-hmm. So come on. Did I read Act 7 already? No? All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of the uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful husband. You must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband. And in Moorish Science, I have to explain it. Obey ain't like no religious stuff. This is 100 and 100. If you understand Moorish Science, I break this down all the time. We ain't with that black stuff and all that old, this and some more religious stuff. Nah, man. This is a unity. It takes all of this. It takes you and me to build a family. This is 100 and 100. Sons and daughters must obey the father and mothers and be industrious and become a part and be industrious. That's why I want to say when you get a good empress, she's going to be industrious. She's going to make sure home right. And then she's going to push you to do all those things. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This is the divine covenant. It's from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God, Allah. And then, of course, our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So, now I'm going to get in a little bit of this stuff. That's at the Jim Crow Museum. Y'all ever seen this stuff before? See, man, I got a whole library, man. I teach a whole child all history. And they come, and when it's so-called Black History Month, have your kids doing peer review, scholarly research, and they'll be teaching their teachers. I guarantee you. Guarantee. All that goofy stuff they'll be coming with, they'll be like, no, we're going to teach real history, what they try to hide. Have any of y'all ever been to the Jim Crow Museum? Because this is what they think about you. Watch this. Watch this. Like, I've done this stuff so many times, and I love doing it over so many times. So we gonna keep doing it. And then I'm gonna read. Look. So this I got my ear like look. My sister laughing. Y'all see this? Look. I'm telling you, we ain't done. I'm gonna narrate all this stuff for y'all. You're gonna be like, what? Yeah. So that's the nigger milk. Y'all saw it. Hey, you ain't gotta be mad at me. That's what it say. That's what it say, don't it? I'm gonna show you postcards and everything. So you can't get mad at me. Oh, you want to get mad, huh? Now you want to cry, huh? Are you being racist, Sheik? No, the hell I ain't being racist, man. I'm a teacher. The nigger milk. Listen, the nigger milk cartoon was relatively common through the 1920s. Common mean what? Current. Oh no, common mean that's what was always done, right? Through the 1920s. Above, this is what they call them. They call them mammy. They call them the mammy objects are similar to the first one I purchased and destroyed. They call them mammies. You see a mammy? Look at that mammy. No disrespect. But when I show this, they be mad. And I'm like, no, don't get mad. Don't get mad, son. Then when I talk about the museums, look who be at the museums. You don't see none of your people, but I'm gonna show you how we be all in the museum with our fez is on everything. Look in the books, who you see in the museums. Looking at your history. When I tell people I'm in a red state, Arizona, when people see me, I operate in royalty and I'm a noble. The only people that I don't understand is my own people. That's the sad part. Because on academia, everybody know, especially the Europeans that have been to Europe, especially the ones that have been to Corsica. When I show the Corsica flag, when I talk about what's in the Netherlands, when I talk about Swordy Piat, when I get in all in the Royal Archives, when I get into Scots history, each year thousands of people visit the museum. Overall, no groups have been charactered as often in as many ways as African Americans. Look. Come on, man. I ain't even got all into the teachings. See, I told y'all I can teach a whole class. This is what people should be supporting. And I got a whole curriculum. Then I got so many artifacts. That's what I be saying, man. I'm like, I don't want to just be supported by and let Europeans take all the wisdom and say, well, we'll pay you X amount of dollars. No, the people should do it. The people should help you build the infrastructure. And we should be teaching our babies young so they can see, so they can be more than just basketball players and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Listen what it says. It says 10 little nigger boys went out to dine. You hear that?
Wow.
They got dogs. 10 little nigger boys. Dogs. You see it? Look. Look, you ain't got to be mad at me. Look, am I making some stuff up? Yes or no, y'all?
Nope.
Come on, man. Oh, now they want to be mad. Oh, she no top, and then they got the Jolly Boys up the top. So then I'm gonna read it. What it says. Come on, man. The Jolly Nigger Banks were made throughout the late 19th and early 20th century. The Jolly Nigger Banks. The Jolly Nigger Banks were made throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries. They were caricatured representations of nigger minstrels. Bottom, during the Jim Crow period, it was not unusual for Americans to name their darkly colored pets nigger. You listening to me, ain't you? Oh, you want to get mad at history. Oh, everybody, this what they put. Come on, man, let me show y'all pictures. Look at this. Come on, man. Look at this with your own eyes. This is the stuff we should be showing. And we want to be slap happy. We want to be goofy and be the only jigaboos. That's all you think we can do and be stupid? No. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all remember cartoons and stuff and all this? And we want to just keep playing around and joke and be mad because Gucci won't let you spend the big bag. Like these rappers with that goofy shit. Don't nobody care. And it ain't hating. It's just, why would you be making them do? So make your own. You rich. People be complaining about Tyler Perry. Man, all kudos to Tyler Perry for putting his own bag in his own thing and spitting out shit and hiring people that look like him. Kudos to that man. People be hating. Oh, he this, he that. I don't give a damn what he is. Look what it's saying. Show how a hungry colored boy will go for roast chicken. And then the other one say, go through the motions of a colored boy eating watermelon. And these are cars from the 72 picture party stunts, a 1930s parlor game. This was part of a game, babe. This was part of a game.
Let me see.
The little boy here eating the watermelon and the chicken.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Show that. Then they got the Gold Dust washing powder. The Gold Dust twin characters of Goldie and Dusty were the faces of Gold Dust washing products and became one of the earliest brand-driven trademarks in America advertising. Oh, Lord. Are y'all listening to me? I went all, and listen how they spell this. I went all the way with, not left,
On the way.
with. Listen, I'm finna tell you what. So I jump in the crack up. This how they try to say you talking when you pregnant girl with their hands on their hips. I went all the way with. No niggers, no Jews, no dogs. And I ain't laughing, man. I'm just telling you what it is. People be getting mad. I said, why are you mad? This history. This Americana. Here go the top. This is a license plate. License plate from a 1960 mocking Lyndon B. Johnson's presidential campaign slogan. Because remember they said Lyndon Johnson, any little blood in you. I'm telling y'all, you was what? A Negro, mulatto. I'm telling y'all the history. J. Edgar Hoover, I'll get all in things and show you. You'll be like, how you know all this shit? Education, scholarship. The same way I can know about you. Same way you can know about me. But license plate from 1930s mocking Lyndon B. Johnson presidential campaign slogan, all the way with LBJ. Bottom, this is one of the many segregation signs that were common during the Jim Crow era. No niggers, no Jews, no dogs. 2000 is also the name of a play by John Henry Redwood. Research it. 2000, a play by John Henry Redwood. Y'all should watch it. Set in Halifax, North Carolina in the late 1940s, and it dramatizes the victimization of an African-American family. You got to see, can y'all pull it up? I'm telling you, I start showing y'all a whole bunch of stuff. You'll be like, Sheik, where you get this stuff from? Scholarship. I'm telling you, like the Book of Eli. Man, I got films, everything. I got a whole library. Listen to this. Let me show y'all this. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. I ain't laughing. I'm not laughing at the pictures, y'all. I'm just laughing because I've done this. I done this so many times. And when I be showing this, you should see, no disrespect, the Europeans' face in the class. When I started showing this, they was all crying. I'm like, why y'all crying? I'm like, why? What the? Well, it's just that, and all of us ain't like that. I said, I ain't say all of you was like that. Alabama coon, that's what it say. A jolly game for any number of players. Alabama coon, one of the many early 1900 games that used Black Americans as targets. You mad? White men, 2 equal get out, rip rap. Rock breakers, 45 cents per hour. This is a paper sign that was used in the 1920s to advertise for rock breakers. Rip rap is rock or other material used to armor shoreline structures against water or ice erosion. When I showed that in the Jim Crow era, if y'all saw what I posted on Instagram earlier, that whole document, you can't even get it no more. I got all these old documents, man. Where a person be like, man, you like the Library of Congress? Yeah, absolutely. I got the Williamton White Man Constitution, the original one, how they tried to kill all those brothers, all of it. Yeah. Let me show y'all something else. I'm finna show y'all a 1920 postcard. It's a variant of a 1896 print. It was an 1896 print. When I tell you, a lot of my family from Florida, when they used to see, no disrespect to nobody, they literally used to take misnomer Black babies and alligator bait. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you. And some stuff I'm not going to play. You will have to physically, when I get my tempo, I'm not going to play a lot of stuff on it. I might, but I'm going to show you real shit. You're going to be like, huh, Sheik? I'm going to be like, yeah. And I'm going to show you in history how your own brother will lie to you for money. And they be passing themselves on scholar, just lie, because they think you stupid. That's why they'll never come to me with that trash. And Africa was never named after no European. That's trash. Sambo, when they be like, oh, you Uncle Tom, they clearly don't understand what it's all about. That's why I be laughing at us, man, because we just regurgitate things without a clear understanding. And a postcard postmark 1970 typifies the Sambo portrayal: lazy, irresponsible, and childlike. Yeah. Bullseye Bill. The Dark Target book has no date. Bullseye Bill. Look what they got. The baby as what? Bullseye Bill. You see it. I'm telling you, man. And watch. They might get mad and try to, no, they probably ain't going to get rid of the damn Jim Crow Museum. I hope not. I'll try to buy everything from the damn Jim Crow Museum and make it the Moors Museum. But I'm telling you, man, there's so much stuff in there. I ain't done. Now watch this. Don't be mad. I'm finna show y'all blackface. Listen to this. Left. This 1904 postcard is from the, listen to this, research it. Raphael, Tuck, and Son series. Coon studies. Below. Made in 1850. This plate from England is one of the oldest pieces in the museum. Here go the, what's her name? M. Bert A. Williams as a fairy queen. Won't you come and dance with me? Look at her and look at the plate. Look at her in black. Look at her. Huh? See, this history, this real. See? That's in the museum. We ain't done. All this stuff you see, blackface. Come on, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you what the picture left. Picture of a small town minstrel show, 1947. And above, in the early 1900s, the M. Steen Cosmetic Company of New York was one of the nation's leading manufacturers of theoretical makeup and grease paints. Listen to look at this. Minstrel jokes.
Wow.
Look, y'all. See? And we up here arguing and Moore's making videos of each other and caricatures. That's how they all looking, grown men. This what we want to do? Are we gonna support that? And these brothers call themselves sheiks. This is exactly what they look like. Little monkeys with feathers on. I'm sorry, because all this stuff is crazy. We're supposed to be educating and showing this true science. Color school report cards. Look at all this stuff. Come on. There's no way. That's what I'm talking about when I do this in real life. Like I mentor kids, I tutor, I do so much charity in my city of Flint. Man, kids should be scholars. And it should be, if we sheiks, if we educators, we should be in the schools. We should be owning stuff in our neighborhood. Like when I be going back home, when I be seeing Moors still in the neighborhood they live in, and it's Moors, 20, 30 Moors, and I say, y'all don't own nothing, what y'all doing? Bull crapping. Partying and bullshitting. And then y'all don't want to learn. Y'all don't want a sheik to come and show y'all how to do this and will build with you. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't get with these Moors. It'd be so much ego because people want to have some pride and say, well, I'm this, I'm the leader of this. It ain't about leading. It's about what's the big picture. What are we going to teach our children? How are we going to synchronize this teaching? More science is a paradigm. Knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, nature. It's about building. So if you don't know how to do none of that and you have no withal to know how to do that, what are we doing? Just preaching? That's not enough. We have to understand and fill voids and be willing to bring the right people in to keep the movement going. So I just wanted to show some history when people don't want to be honest in things. This is stuff in the museums. When we talk that black stuff and all that, I said, man, clearly you not understand history. Clearly you're not studying more science. Like this book right here, I even have this book. I don't have this book for years. When people be getting their degrees in African American studies, I'll be destroying that Eurocentric and that Negrocentric propaganda. A lot of Moors don't even know how to read and don't understand how to read between and in the lines. When I say a lot of people like Alice Crowley, aka Serapis Bey, they'll take our science and pervert it. Like the 777, all that, we Moors don't understand. Like Hakeem Bey. Hakeem Bey is Peter Lambert Wilson that wrote The Sacred Drift about our prophet. Once they started learning the science, he's Hakeem Bey that wrote all the Moorish paradigm journals. I'm telling you facts. In 1900, Charles Carroll wrote The Negro, a Beast, or In the Image of God. Carroll claimed that the white people were made in the image and likeness of God and that Adam gave birth to the white race only, while Negroes were soulless, immoral, ugly, pre-Adamite beasts. According to Carroll, race mixing spoiled God's racial plan of creation. But I just broke the damn science down the other day that, no disrespect, watch this. That's why I be laughing. How can these goofy authors disrespect the first century writers? And I just prove from scholarship that no disrespect, but the misnomer black man is the father of civilization proven by the Bible. I just broke this shit down. Excuse my candor. Just broke it down very eloquently. You know, we ain't got to grow with no propaganda, with nobody coming with a religious perspective. I don't care what color you are. You coming with that Al-Islam stuff, talk about Islam, the black man religion, I'm going to sit you on your hands too. You come with that Freemasonry or dissing this comedic science that the Freemasonry is watered down, I'm going to make you sit on your hands too. Because this 99 degrees. Period. And we don't diss no science. So I just wanted to show a little bit of this, man. I don't even want to stay all in it because it's just so much, man. Like when I say it's so much to cover, Moors, in here. I'll be all day. But I've done whole lectures on this stuff. That's to show Moors in history. Just to try to show Moors about prerequisite in science. Well, like it'd be so many more science books. When I say Moors, I know Moors not studying and reading because it's so much. This is a science. This is a craft. And just like I pertain it to martial arts and things, I say you might be a sensei or a Sufi and you might only know how to work with your hands. But then you meet a sensei that know how to work with his hands, his feet, weapons, know how to work with his mind, spiritual, building. And all his brothers is just as good as he is. They might not be all the way there, but they're teachers. They can take you on that level and bring you to the storehouse and come up together. And we have the manuals. And no one ain't trying to act like this some magical old spooky ass mystic goofy stuff. You know? Noble, I will tell you right there, if you're on there, a lot of people will block you on here, man. If no disrespect for saying that, because I don't understand, like, what's the purpose of that? No disrespect to you. No disrespect to you. Because if people have been following me, that'd be the wrong thing. If you was on the wrong platform, that those words, what you just said, is words to get hustled. Because if I was a shady person, I'll say, oh yeah, me, and I'll say, I'm finna make you a whole bunch of stuff. I'll tell you to send me your ID, send me your social security number, and get some silver notes. Like somebody probably gonna try to hustle you, you know what I mean? And how you do all this and send you some ID stuff and you're not gonna know nothing. So what's the purpose of having all that ID if you don't know the science? I clearly say that. Why would a person want to, when a person say proclaim your nationality, and I say, can't nobody do that for you. Watch this. Let me read the introduction of the Exhibit of the Nation. Can't nobody proclaim your nationality for you. Can't nobody do none of that. The Moorish Science Temple is a membership. I just read it. I go get all my ID from the temple. I just get it. None of that's going to make you nothing. You can get your head bust with or without, especially if you don't know the wisdom. What we think we're going to pull out an ID, your ID is for your salvation. Fair to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these orders are violated, justice must then take its course. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. Why? Because it caused confusion. Why? Because your card is for your salvation. It don't replace nothing. Our membership card is for the temple. Our tax ID card is for the temple. Our nationality card is for the temple. Period. And if any sheik telling you anything different, he or she is a lie and ain't no truth in them. The 1010 number ain't no damn trust fund at the end of no rainbow. That ain't nothing but a damn affidavit that can be researched, and you can get the original with a seal on it or not a seal from the CCRD, the County of Cook or Recorder of Deeds. If you want how the temple is set up, I have the Moors Consulate book, how I break it down, very, very simple. Some Moors are confused on navigating. A card, none of that gonna make you nothing. Proclaiming and declaring to have due process is the first thing that you must do. If someone educating you about Moorish science and about nationality, nationalizing, all of that, etc. When I talk about the religious rights of the indigenous people, about being a part of a tribe and being a tribal leader and not giving up your last name for a morsel, I'm gonna teach the truth and nothing but the truth. If anybody say they can nationalize you, they played you and they lied to you. And they did the same thing that somebody else would do. Like that, that's sad. And when people say that type of language to me, and I hope that's not what you're doing, but to me, that's like warning, 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 warning. And everybody around me, all my members know that. When I hear people say that, it's like, damn, we still want that? And I'm like, that's been proven. It's only one more science temple. Like, it's only one more science temple. It's only one Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in school. We are a group of Moors with a school that claimed our nationality. So when a person say, well, where can I claim my nationality online? Why would I want to claim my nationality and all that online? Like, none of that even makes sense. None of that makes sense. And I'm coming from, and I'm speaking from the perspective of a sheep. From the Moorish Science Temple of America, that created his own school. I would never do nobody like that. I would never try to hustle nobody and say, I can nationalize you. And you got to imagine how many thousands of people came to me asking me that stuff. Am I right, sis?
Yes.
You got to imagine how many Moors came to me with all this, like, she, can you nationalize me? I'm willing to pay $500 to $1,000. I'm like, for what? Well, they say you and that. I said, I don't got the power to nationalize you or denationalize you. What the hell? Where are you getting that shit from?
Well, why they want to be nationalized so bad?
It's only one temple. It's only one more science temple. It's only one prophet. It's only one Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in school. It's only one. It's only one. So let me read something real fast. Please, Moors. And if y'all want to learn, you need to come to school the right way and get it the right way. Because you was a Moor before the temple. Now the temple is something the prophet set up. All this stuff. You think when the prophet was in the flesh, you had all these people trying to do their own fascist group. When the prophet was alive, oh, I'm going to do this and do this. More science temple of the world. This type of car. I'm an autotoxin. I'm an Indian. All this stuff, that's meaningless. That's meaningless. Because if you ain't going to proclaim, declare, and have due process, who cares? And then you ain't part of nothing, so you a rogue. This is something you the only one. See? So let's deal with this. I'm going to touch on it very, very clearly. No one should be confused. A nation of the holy people that has been ordained in due time by the great God of the universe and fulfilling the prophecies of Noble Drew Ali. Much of the written works in the biography is either unknown or unpracticed by many organizational sheiks and adapts. Chapter 23 and 24 of my book are where true Moors are supposed to be at this time. When you talk about the proclamation and declaration, Moors just be an ego. And I'm like, dude, you can't be an ego. A lot of these Moors call themselves sheiks. They haven't even graduated out of high school, have a third grade aptitude, no disrespect. I'm like, come on, man. No, like really no disrespect to no one. Dirty Moors have been busy burying us as a people, just as our prophet Noble Drew Ali warned. They would take this movement down so low, it would disappear from the face of the earth. You Moors won't know I have been here. For 15 years, the author was telling you I was a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America organization during the moderation of Robert Love L. Just like when I show y'all the paper, when they talking about some 1010 number is some trust, we destroyed that. And the same way with the author, Sheikh Elihu Pleasant Bay. The same way I had to be like, man, I'm not going to deal with you clowns. And I'm not going to bash the temple because the temple is right. The structure is right. It's just you clowns. I'm not going to be a no part of that because if I'm part of it and don't stand against those lying Negroes, then I'm part of the problem. I got to stand against the beast and teach true Moorish science and say I'm right here. all that. If nationality the order of the day, what you doing about it then? You acting like you nationalizing people. You a lie. Because nationality, the order of the day, that's an international thing. We all got to sign a petition and make it an international thing. And can tell people that the local jurisdictions already know you or more. In 2012, a lot of the mayors done signed the proclamation. So tell the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Love L went on record in the Fourth Circuit Court of Corporate Government of the United States stating that the author and many other of his members were not Moorish Americans and never a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America organization. And this deposition would normally seem harmless, except it was a lie, laced with the assumable identification, which combined, listen clearly, membership with nationality, which combined membership with nationality. Nobody can nationalize you. You proclaim and declare, have due process. You tell me who you are. You a member. You are more, and you a member of this, what? Moorish Science Temple of America, and you a member of what? The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. This very clear. This very clear. Following the three leaders, successor of past moderates, beginning with the first post, Drew Ali Freemason named Charles Kirkman Bay, Love L2, claimed to have the power to make Moorish Americans out of members, divine ministers out of sheiks, and adepts out of officials. Listen clearly. To make a man as one can make a mason is the practice of Freemasonry at its most unscrupulous heights. To nationalize, aka make or denationalize any human is both a sin and a crime. No God, prophet, or grand man has the power to nationalize any man, woman, or child, and those that have taken away a man's true identity are criminals, Moors. And this practice gave the United States courts and outside worlds the illusion that the Moorish Science Temple of America was a religion whose members under its tenets were nationalized with the name Moorish American and loaned the organizational marks of Bay and L. But that's not true. Read Resolution 75. Read the laws, man. Needful to say, this nationalization, hoodwinking, was never empowered or practiced by our Prophet Noble Drew Ali or any other upright Moor. No man has the power to nationalize another man, and this would change him from the descendant nature of his forefathers. If one can make, which is nationalized, a Moorish American, one can also make a Chinese or Irish or a Sudanese at will. And this act brought light a 75-year practice of clandestine cultism within various Moorish Science Temple of America groups. It's showing how it has systematically denounced 98% of its members as non-Moorish or repo their tribal names, Bay and L. An entity that eats its young can never be prosperous. And this is why John Doe Public of today, Empress got my keys?
Yeah.
Tell her I'm gonna need them.
I bring it back.
Okay. Knows nothing about the true uplifting duties performed by our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And due to the national inactivity of the Moorish officials, there are today over 60 million so-called Negro blacks and colored who do not know the great God of their forefathers ordained to them, a Redeemer. They all deserve to know these truths and make a choice. This is the main reason why the writer and myself would never give another Moorish Science Temple of America or any other organization the jurisdiction to neither rule over him or you neither, nor be a deterrent to your national freedom and bamboozle you from your birthright to be God. I ain't gonna let that shit happen. I'm gonna break it down truthfully. Everybody should be rocking with this, unless you just want some cosmetics. And you get locked up with that shit. And I'm not speaking to slander, but warnings to the ignorant and guidance for those who are still practicing it, these sinful ways. Because if a person, and I'm not saying a person is doing it, but when a person asks for these things, nationalize this, somebody online, I'm not saying you sinful, but that's a sinful way. And the true sheik should correct you right off top. And if a person feel a certain way, then I'll be like, well, go ahead and get hustled. Because at the end of the day, that's clearly what's going to happen. Choices are for the free, and my decision stands upon the principle of love. As a chartered organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, constitutional limitations. As a sheik, we have constitutional limitations if you're going to operate on understanding. And they are restricted to only teach its members their nationality and divine creed. This is the only way for it to live out its purpose, the uplifting of fallen humanity. You know? And then just like they try to blame things on prophet, they try to reduce our prophet of Allah to a Shriner, the same way Negroes try to do me. And I'm like, you know I ain't no Shriner. You know I ain't no Freemason. I'm coming with divine wisdom. You mad because the Freemason and the Europeans deal with the supreme wisdom and they bow down to science. And they understand that this fez is highly recognized and is worn secretly by a lot of Negroes and lodges. I don't even have time to get into Freemasonry part, but I just wanted to illuminate this part. But I give gratitude for those that listen. I give gratitude for those that gave a donation to Cash App $KG Like I said, if Moors give a $40 donation today, I'll PDF you The Golden Age of the Moor and Sacred Gift, Peter Lambert Wilson, a.k.a. Hakeem Bey. I'm telling you, you go on Amazon, you see how much those books cost. I think Golden Age of the Moor is on Amazon for $200, I think, or it might be unavailable. It might be 200, it might be 100. And I think Sacred Drift might be 100 or unavailable. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I give gratitude, man. Any questions? I hope Moors get out of their ego, especially Moors in all different areas, that's sheiks. Because, man, it's a lot that can be learned, especially if brothers don't have egos and you have a real purpose and a mission, especially if you have children. I've done this. I've taught elementary, high school, college. I teach this science, all levels. I teach these comedic degrees. I teach the clock of destiny. I teach linguistics. Ooh, that wind blowing. Yo, any questions, Morris? Any questions? Like I was teaching one day, I was showing them more, like it's so much law in Before the Mayflower. When they like, damn, Sheik, you read all these books? Yeah, I read everything. It's treaties all in here. You know? You know what I mean? Noble, with that noble, I'm not even going to answer that question. I'll let somebody else answer that question because I'm not going to answer that question. I mean, because I think you know the question. By being a member of the Moorish Zion Temple of America and the Burning Bush Tabernacle, with that place one in their proper person, how can noble? I hope we understand. That's why I said Moors need to read some stuff first, because I'm not going to just answer certain questions that I really would want a person to read. I just read in the preface, I just read it. Like, what can't happen with no Kemper? Like, so when I just said proclaim, declare. So what you mean set yourself in a proper person? What, by claiming, declaring, and the old becomes new? I mean, like, what? I don't get what a lot of people be thinking when we think we paper terrorists, when we just want to get the pushing paper and not having a clear understanding. You have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. I just broke down the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. So I just broke down, I said, research the Resolution 75. I said, research all this stuff first, because clearly we still thinking it's something that's going to make us. And I say we resurrecting, we going back to something we already were. So say if it wasn't the Moorish Science Temple, then what? How would you set yourself straight? How would you proclaim, declare, and have due process? How would you do things Moorishly? Come on, man. It always been tribes. It's always been tribal leaders. It's always been groups of Moors. It's one nationality, many cultures. So if you understood this, you can proclaim, declare, and have due process. That's something you do on your own. That ain't no use of no ID. Because once again, who gonna make you something? Somebody gonna make you something that your mother had made you? Because you have a right of a nationality, you have the right to change the nationality. So once again, it'd be a misunderstanding from a lot of nobles. And I said the only way we can learn if we study, if we're willing to study. and the truth will make you free. And the man don't know by somebody telling them. And I never leave nobody in a burning house. I'm always tell a person, are you willing to study what you asking for? Because if you're willing to study what you asking for, you will be able to answer all your questions when it's time to be judged. Because you don't want to see if something works. You want to know for a fact. Where the keys go?
Right there by the little brush.
Oh. And that's, you want to prepare yourself for battle. We're talking about strategy, okay? We're talking about strategizing. I don't want to think I have something and what I think I have can be easily destroyed for a lack of wisdom. That's just like in a court of law. There's no excuse of not knowing the law. A lot of more is getting fraudulently concealed because when they've been dealing with people and that they meet on the internet and give them all their information. I'm like, why would a person meet someone on the internet and give them all your information and then somebody make you a card? They done went on Amazon and made an ID and bought an ID card machine and did a whole bunch of stuff. And what do a person think they really have? Like nothing. You have nothing. It ain't part of no school, it ain't part of no body. It's nothing. All that stuff is cosmetics if it's not attached to nothing, family. And none of that stuff make you who you are, you. Those are just, how can I say it? Just like a necklace and something. If it's not part of nothing, I tell more if you want an ID and all that with somebody, when you meet somebody on the internet, go on Amazon. Go on Amazon, find your ID card machine, put on all your regalia, play dress up, all that like a lot of Moors do at home, put on all your regalia and put whatever on that card you want to. And it's going to be the same as you're going to get from somebody else that's going to give you something. It's going to be the same. Because when they look it up, it ain't going to be attached to nothing. They're going to be like, okay, well, what is this? You're going to say is your, I don't know what the hell you're going to say. Your ID, your tribal card or whatever. Okay. And if it ain't attached to nothing, you might as well step out there on your own and say, this is your ID that you made yourself. And say, this is you, this is you. Because why would you let somebody else make something and make money off you and they ain't did nothing but went to Amazon, got an ID card and went and got a booklet and put your face in there and say all this? You can do that shit yourself. And then when a person asks you where you study at, what is school at, this and that, it's nothing. We just want a piece of ID and a card. That's not more science. And I'm not here to diss none of it. I'm just saying whatever works for a person, I'm not here to sell you that. It's a lot of people that'll sell you that, and then that's all they want. And we'll see where you studying at. It'll be nowhere. It's a lot of people going to give you half truth and say you go to this publication and get this and all that information to get you locked up. The truth, it's not popular because a lot of Moors, that's older Moors, waited till they become older to become criminals. And because they done picked up a UCC book or something, they think they masters in law. And I break law down, I break consumer law down in class, and a person to calm their nerve down in 1.2 seconds, like, yep, I'm tripping, like, absolutely. A person to get UCC book and then run out and get themselves in trouble. And I say a Moor is confused on navigating, and then let somebody make them an ID, and then talk about you nationalize yourself. And you correct your status. I'm like, who? Where? With a person? How can you correct your status with a person? Think about this. Think about this very, 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 very clearly. How can you correct your status with a person? And if it's a Moorish Science Temple in your area, the Moorish Science Temple should just charge you a service fee and give you your ID for the temple. But of course, a lot of them not. I told y'all, like when I was going through all that, I had to put pressure on them in Chicago. Because I always investigate stuff, and a lot of them people that be doing things, they can't destroy the science what the prophet did. They'll try to hold it, but a lot of their operations be wrong. A lot of them brothers, they be doing tax evasion, filing fake ass taxes. You know what I mean? So they ain't gonna come to me with that shit. You can look them all up. It's free information. That's why people be getting mad. Like, how you find out? I said, man, it's free information. Just don't be a criminal. It's the Free Information Act. Precedent in law cases, doc numbers. You can look any goofy ass criminal up that's doing criminal shit today. And most of these Moors is doing criminal tax shit. You can look all that goofy ass up. You can look another Moor that was squatting in the Empress house. She made videos of the goofball. No disrespect. He in Canada right now. I mean, not Canada, but in China. No disrespect. He did a whole bunch of stuff. They had the SWAT team come. It could have looked ugly. So a lot of stuff these people be doing be fraud shit. Be making up fake court cases. I'll be like, do y'all think this real? I said, call a court, call a district, call a clerk. That ain't no real fucking clerk from no district. That's all made up. So you got to imagine people that look like you will go through all that stuff to defraud you. Just imagine if you was talking to them people right now, they'll make some fake conference call and have you on the phone with some people like you claiming your nationality and hustle your ass in 1.23 seconds. All that shit be fake. And then they get mad when somebody call out, say, you lying and ain't no truth in you. Man, you would check that shit. What's the district you in? Call it, that ain't no clerk. That person ain't no fucking real attorney. The misnomer, Arab, all the shit is fugazi. Get mad if you want to. So fucking what? All fraud, all fake, all criminals. These men be fucking criminals. I'll show you. I know the lady that he tried to squat in the house. The squat team had to come get the nigger out. And then they want to be mad. Then they run, and then they ran to China. Don't get mad at me. I'm telling you real stuff. Everybody with the feds on it ain't gonna tell you the truth, then they get mad. It ain't slander, it's the real shit. Look it up. People get into this science and try to be criminals. A person will get hustled with all that goofy stuff. Well, yeah, we can nationalize you, we can do this, we the consulate. You the consulate or what? You gonna do all that, get your ass in trouble, nowhere to be found. I'm telling you the truth. Be mad if you want to. And if a person want to be a part of somebody, whatever they want, or they think all that, whatever, you want to get a passport, all that from people, do what you want. I don't know none of them people. Don't care. I don't got nothing to say about them, but that ain't nothing I deal with. I have a real school. I'm a real tribal leader. We have real classes. I have real business classes. We do real workouts. I show people how to set up their businesses. So we do real counseling. We author books. Me and my nobles putting together our whole business book. You're going to be able to scan on the back and watch our PowerPoint presentation. And then if you're ready to set up your business, you'll be able to take the course with us. And we'll help you set up your business. Your EIN, Duns and Bradstreet, show you how to get quick 30s, articles of organization, all that stuff. And then if you're ready, my noble will take you to the next level, and my noble will help you set up your web page. Bam, bam, one-stop shop. We a skill center. We own land. So that's what this is all about, man. So I hope in Allah's will that no one, hopefully, especially if they are adult, if that individual was on here that was asking about being nationalized, if you an adult noble, please don't let nobody hustle you, because they will. I promise you. A person will look you up and see that statement, hit you up, be like, oh, I know these Moors will nationalize you and do this, and have you paying money and have you giving them their social security number. They done open all type of shit in your name, and you get some ID that somebody made, and that's what you want. That ain't what you want. I would hope you would want to learn the science and the wisdom, for you won't be out here acting like no crazy person, like a lot of these Moors do. Don't y'all know? Watch this. See, I don't talk about a lot of stuff, but people send me stuff. It was this old Demore that used to always be on the internet that's arguing, cussing, got his head bust wide open. I tell y'all, it's a way to operate. Man, I'm a navigator. I ain't saying what you can and can't do. I never tell nobody what you can and can't do, but I bet you I ain't gonna never give my people in no burning house. And I bet you if anything happened to me, it ain't gonna happen to nobody else, because ain't nobody gonna touch me. Period. Because I operate in the right way. I navigate in the right way. I ain't finna have you out here just on no traffic law, drive without license, doing all this shit. I ain't got time for that. I ain't finna have you squatting no house. I ain't finna have you always up in no court arguing, begging for shit. That ain't how I move. We own shit. We control it. We teach our own kids. We have our own infrastructure. We do business with each other. We keep our dollars in-house. We wear our own Moorish gear. We continue to create our own clothes and our own fashion. That's why we created My PDF Books. That's why we created MoorishHaberdasher.com, so you can get all your Moorish American regalia. That's why we open our temple in the school, for we can learn and we can do things together. All that other stuff, Moorish, I hope y'all really, really be careful. Moorish, please watch my film that on one of my lectures, Moors are confused on navigating. Because it's that simple how a Moor can get caught up. It's that easy how a Moor can get caught up. That's why I be saying, I hope Moors don't be trying to play a game with me. I really don't. And then when I look these people up, I be saying that these be adults. I be like, I hope nobody ain't on here trying to play no goofy ass game with me, trying to test and see if I'm gonna try to be stupid. I don't play that shit. None of that stuff mean nothing to me. So that's what I'm saying. When the person that come to me and talk about anybody on here nationalizing, to me, that's like warning. Like what do you mean? And I hope a person ain't on my page just want to know that. Because if you are, man, no disrespect again. I will hope you exclude yourself. Because I done talked about that issue so many times, a plethora of times. And if a person is new to that, to my page, I hope a person won't just jump in, and I hope a person will be like, well, let me see what this person is all about. Just like if you was courting someone, if you was trying to date an empress, I hope you would see what she all about instead of just jumping right into it. So I hope a person would be like, well, let me see what this noble all about before I jump on here live, for I can see the brother handle, for I can see where he coming from. Then a person will have a clear understanding of what not to be like, oh, he already done answered that question. Like, and he made that plain. Why? Every time he speaks. And then I give you the literature. I break all his laws down. I give it to you can get it, how the temple set up. I break all these laws down. So why do we think someone can nationalize us or denationalize us? And I just broke the preface down in the exhumed of the nation. I just broke it down. And when I broke it down, the person asked me a question that I just clearly, if anybody was listening, be like, he just like answered that question in the preface of the Zooming of the Nation. Where do you like, huh? Nats, you proclaim, declare, have due process. That's something you do yourself. Those are things you do yourself more. So I want to be clear with that before we close. And thank y'all for the donations. Yep, it's Cash App, $ KG Bay. I want to be clear. Moors, do not get on this internet thinking somebody can nationalize you and denationalize you. That's fugazi. No man, no woman, no temple, no God man can nationalize you or denationalize you. Period. That's code word for get hustled. No one can correct your status. No one can correct your status. You do that. You proclaim, declare, have due process. That's something you do out of your mouth. The old becomes the new. You annex your Bay and L to your name. And if you want to go deeper than that, well, you deal with what? Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. You have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. The claim of child replaces the birth certificate. That's very simple. That's very simple. I don't know how many times I said, I break this whole exhumed of the nation. I just broke the preface, told you that no man can nationalize you or denationalize you. Told you that. Broke down the 1010 number, ain't nothing but a religious affidavit. I broke all that down. Proclaim, declare, and due process is something that you do. Being a part of a tribe, being a part of a school, that's something different. That's what I broke it down eloquently, basic. That's why I said a lot of Moors are confused on navigate, because they be talking about some UCC and some UCC1. And if you under a true sheik, if you under the true auspices, you're going to know all that's fugazi. And I don't even have to explain it. You're going to, all upright Moors be like, he's telling you all truth and nothing but the truth. I can rest my case in any court of law and it would be no rebuttal. A person would be like, well, I don't like this. And the judge would be like, well, we ain't here on what you don't like. Prove your case, sir. Boom. If not, we got to get out of here. Or I'm locking you up for contempt of court. And every just man know I'm telling the truth. It's nothing secret or illegal about the Moorish Science Temple. Anything about the temple, you can, if you can't get it, I'll give it to you. I'll show you the letters from the CCRD, which I've read plenty of times. I'll show you how the temple is set up, the consulate booklet, how the temple is set up. And show you that you want to be set up in a certain manifestation. I'll show you how people will double talk to you. They'll talk about the secret treaty of Verona and talk about the 1099. I say, well, the Moorish Science Temple, we have a 1099. Our ID is the 1099. You know, Islam in the Caribbean is Islam. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Those are truths. When you understand how things are set up, principality districts, and understand how words is synonymous, we understand. You gotta it's very simple. And so you won't you a person that talk all this, well, the temple's this and this. Have you ever been a part of one? Do you know a person that's a sheik from the temple that came out and say, hey, yeah, it's some bull stuff in the temple. Yeah, it's some crap, but I can steer you clearly away from the bull crap. And if anybody come to you with the bull crap, you're gonna already know the bull crap when it's coming. Why? Because you've been prepared for it. Just like if you playing chess and somebody hustling you every time you play chess. You know what I mean? Yeah, they are. That's the United of Asia. I mean, come on. We everywhere. When we talk about the Jamaican Maroons, when we talk about all these so-called islands and everything, when we talk about Haiti, come on. I mean, it's just when we talk about a lost in translation. I give you love and honor. I give everybody love and honor, man. I give gratitude. I deal with all my brothers, man. Like I say, it's only one history. Islam, Ras, Abin Bey, Abdian Bey, or Abdian, excuse me. But it's no, everything can be researched, man. And if a person's not willing to give you the things, thanks for the donation, Moore. If Moore's not willing to give you the keys and give it to you, just like when I talk about healing, no disrespect to Dr. CB, no disrespect to none of those people. But listen, man, when I always have to do science, when people talk about curing things, I forget the European. When I show films that people, it's a lot of stuff. If you honest what you're doing, yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, it's all that. That's the United of Eight. It's there. It's in our Moore's Quran. What is it? Chapter 25, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's a lot of things that when you look at natural cures, I can show you. Just like when I talk about Credo Matua, when you look at, like, for instance, when I talk about a lot of people, a lot of scholars, elders that I study, and you will see Europeans that made money off of them, like David Icke, the European, documented a Credo Matua. A lot of his jury, the reptile, a lot of his stuff is gone. He had to go in exile, and they died poor. We shouldn't have to be like that. We should anoint our scholars that's well versed in history and that can prove things out, not only in historical and literature, but films, and then teach it like an oracle, like the medicine man and the magi, and then understand all the herbs to heal. I wrote a book, my workout book, and herbs to healing. Like, yes, things to be like this stuff is old. We talking about nature, man. Come on. Everything else is just a compilation. Everything else is a gather and compile. Everybody know I'm telling the truth. It never was a time when man was not. How you think all our ancestors lived to be those age? Or you think, or we think Elijah Muhammad and this came out with the book, Eat to Live. Or you ain't think, I can show you where all the science come from. Please, man. Man, when you a scientist, everybody's not sick in the same manifestation. Some people you might have to heal them with the herbs. You might have to know what herbs to mix to heal certain things. Then you might have to get that knife and know how to cut that disease out. Or you might have to spiritually heal someone. It's all different types of healing. Someone might be mismanaging their funds. So as a healer, everyone's not sick in the same manifestation. You gotta exhume what you say. You have to be all that. How I'm gonna say I understand healing and I can't heal myself. When I come under things, I can be around my brothers. They won't even know I've been sick. I've been under the weather at our meet and greet. Nobody know until I told them. My family's on here the day before our meet and greet. I didn't know how I was gonna make it. But as I mix my herbs and certain things that I did, because I always stay close to water and I do certain things, keep herbs in me and keep natural greens in me, keep natural fruits in me that have natural water. And I do certain things to try to keep myself in a certain way. Not saying that it's the best way or the only way, but I know my body and I'm going to put things in me that work. And I am the controller of my body. And I am the controller of my body. So when I talk about herbs, when I talk about dandelion, when I talk about all these things that I talk about, like natural cures, man, you can follow anybody, Dr. CB, or any of that. If they were here in the flesh, I bet you they'll be like, wait, I'll be like, can I speak? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, and I bet you they couldn't say nothing. What I'm saying is wrong. When I talk about the traditional functions of herbs in the body, you know what I mean? The ginger, that's the heating herb. Assigned properties similar to those of cayenne, like the pepper. But ginger's center of activity is defined as lying primarily in the internal organs. You know? So when I don't want to stay on it, but all different type of herbs for nervous, butternut, ginger, mustard, peppermint, sage, thyme. All these herbs, fettle, raspberry, slippery elm, dandelion, licorice, apple, dock, holy thistle, butternut, Oregon grape. All these things that help the liver, the mucus, the blood, the colon. All disease starts in the stomach. So when I talk about the doctrine of healness, herbal healings develops in your body, how I can take these certain herbs and do certain things with them. So that's where I'm at with the science, man. It's more than just reading books. It's more than that. It's application. It's all of that science. When people talk about I want to read your tarot card, I don't want to read nobody else's tarot card. I do all that for myself to understand me. I don't need a tarot card to read a person. All I got to do is be around you and touch your hands. The tarot card is for me. Because this ain't no trick. You know, everything comes from within. And then you are all those instruments. You don't need any of those instruments. When I'm talking about Abramelin the Magi, when I can speak the holy books, when I can live the holy books, Abramelin the Magi, those are 3 holy books those are some of the most expensive and classic books in the world. And probably a lot of people can't even get it. Just like when a lot of people be afraid of other writers like Aleister Crowley and all that, I said, if you understand the cipher and if you know how to read, you will see how they took all your science and perverted it. Especially when I talk about Aleister Crowley book 777, I'll pull all the science out and throw away the rest. They're not that smart, nobles. And they all will agree to where the science come from. So I give honors, I give respect to all my brothers and sisters all over this globe, in the Caribbeans, Trinidad, Tobago, all over, man. My brothers in Haiti, my brothers in Abyssinia, my brothers here in America, my Moors in Europe, even my Moors that's in lockup that I deal with. I know you all are going to be in this world soon. And just like even a lot of my nobles that's locked up, they don't even be wanting no fake ID. And they locked up in jail. And I say, why do free men think they can get something? And I be having brothers in prison be like, no, I tell them I'm part of the school. He like, I told the CEO when I get out, I'm part of a school. They're like, yep, you part of a church. He's like, yep, I'm a Moor. Because a lot of them, when I go into the prisons, a lot of them will come around to me. And it's just like having a notary. It's things that you can do, you can proclaim and declare. I teach you this. Because if you think a European paper, somebody European paper means something, then you clearly lost. You got to tell them who you are on things. You annex your band L. But if you're a part of a tribe, if you're part of something, then that's the whole thing. And you're a part of that for life. And that's what people be understanding. And so when I deal with brothers and sisters in prison, and they deal with me and they COs and not COs but probation officers be like, yep, this brother under your auspice, yep, he saved more, yep, boom, boom, boom. That's real. Because I'm real on the books. So I give gratitude for everybody, man. Like I said, I'm challenging everybody to please try to jump private with us on Zoom. Please hit us up on BBT. ScienceTemple.com, and my muftis will get with y'all because I want everybody this Sunday and Saturday to join us on Zoom. I'm not gonna do Sunday school or adapt meeting on peace, Noble Malik, gratitude, peace and love, Noble, to you, Malik. But I'm not gonna do adapt teaching, and I'm not gonna do Sunday school this week on Instagram and YouTube. Anybody that want those teachings, please come privately on Zoom. We're trying to get this private thing popping. Because I'm trying to show people how we have the right to be private. Research the religious rights of the indigenous people. Research all those laws that I broke down. Research the Resolution 75. Research the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. Research the SF 181 form. Research those things. Love you too, Noble. I love y'all. Hey, man, like I said, I come out there. I travel. Once all this stuff calm down, man, the whole plan, man, is to have satellite schools and really start teaching this systematically and have all my brothers that's teachers teaching systematically in the right times. When new people come in, we start teaching the basics, you know what I mean, and growing from there. Brothers want to deal with their business, getting their business set up the right way, getting the understanding the right way, getting your library set up the right way, teaching your kids the right way. Because if the kids knew self-pride and who they were at a young age, I really think that'll make a big difference in the pride and understanding and looking at ourselves as heroes and not looking at nobody else like they're gonna save us. I use the analogy as the misnomer Jews say, pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, I get all into the history, man. It's a book by Henry Ford called The International Jew. Get that book. I think I got it on my page. I think I got it. I'll convert it to PDF. And then it's another one it's called The 13th Tribe. I think the author is Kostler. And I might convert that, but it'll blow your mind. Nothing I speak is slander. Everything I speak is science and education. And how can I say it? Historical. So any questions, Morris? Like I said, I give gratitude and honor. Any more questions? I've been going for 1 hour and 40 minutes. My family here. Time to eat. But I said, man, I'm not going to do these lectures, man, at college and let them people get all this information. And I don't at least come on here and say, man, I ask for small donations and y'all can come to class. That'd be the only thing when I come home, and I'd be sad a lot because I'm in Arizona. And when I be lecturing and stuff at the schools, it'd be packed with other people. And they be asking me would I tutor their children. And they be like, well, like a lot of the students at GCU, they be having a hard time writing in APA format and doing the research. And it just, sometimes, a lot of times it's refreshing, but then it's sad because it's just like Angelo Solomon, the first Moorish Mason. Like our own people don't honor education and wisdom and law. We honor making excuses and begging somebody like we some slaves, like we are not the Americas, the United States. The lion and lamb must lie down at night and no one wake up in the morning and be harmed. We have a right to do this. Everything we do, we have a right. And when you understand law, international law and all law, and understand that you have a nationality and a spirituality that takes you to a complete fifth, because a lawyer will lie to you. Persons don't mean nothing. I broke all this stuff down legally and lawfully. When I was getting my degree at school, I sat and debated with so-called lawyers that done took the bar, the British Annotated Registry, destroyed them with the wisdom. Like, I don't care because you got no degree. That don't mean I can practice law too. I can defend myself. I'm competent. Let's go. Sat them on their hands, destroyed them. So you must be competent in law, especially when you can trump their law, when you know all the precedented law cases, when you know all the doc numbers, when you know all the Free Information Act. You can break this stuff down, bro, when you know all the restrictions. So they already know who you are coming in. You better be all the way right coming. You better be all the way right coming. And then if you ain't all the way coming right, I'm going to make you convict yourself because you're going to think you smart. So I'm going to let you say something. I'm going to ask it right back to you a different way. And I'm going to say, for the record, you got to record it. I'm just going to throw it back to you in a different way and you done. That's why I tell Moors, this right here got so many Moors in trouble from a misunderstanding. Got so many Moors, and especially when they be that UCC and that UCC1 stuff. And I said, clearly you lost. So any questions, Moors? Any questions? All right, once again, thanks for the donations, man. It's an honor and a privilege to teach. It's an honor and a privilege. Any questions? Maybe one of these, maybe tomorrow I might jump on You know what? Somebody did ask me to break this down. I'm gonna break this C. Like y'all can pull up C. Freeman L. He older more. He's with Allah. I'm gonna break this. He broke this chart down. I'm gonna break this chart down for y'all. Not today, because I'm gonna get out here. I'm gonna break this whole chart down and break it all down scientifically to slow a person down. It's very simple. Every sheik should be able to break this chart down without no problem. Every sheik should be able to, if you're a scientist and you talk about you some adapter, you some scholar, and you got pupils under you, well, I hope you know what this is. That's why I said this is science. When I talk about the esoteric and the exoteric, when I talk about the gnosis, when I talk about all that science, I hope we really prepare for what's coming. And if not, we got to say we not, and we need to synchronize. If companies emerge and we say we Moors, we should have the same mission. Get with the real deal, and let's come up together. But with that being said, man, I love y'all. I give honor and peace. Thank everyone for donations. Anybody that sent a donation today, you will get literature. Like I said today, what I was offering, if anybody gave a $40 donation that's on here, I will send you Golden Age of the Moors and Peter Lambert Wilson's Sacred Drift. Go on Amazon and see how much those two books cost. It'll be well worth your $40, I guarantee you. If you get a donation, just hit me up, GOODMANKHARY@gmail.com, and I'll have one of my mutas PDF you the books, just like that. And you can build those for your library, man. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out. But gratitude, man. Any questions? Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my guide, my protector, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Asha'ayah, peace, 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 Hotep, Assalamu Alaikum. Whatever name you give it praise to that inner peace, it's all good with me, man. They say it's 99 names, beautiful names of Allah. Actually, it's 100, because Allah is one. So I give honor and praise to Allah and man. Peace.